So instead of apologies, let's just have a return to form. If you're not thoroughly offended by the end of this video, I've failed as a human being. This is Tommy Taco. Tommy, I understand that you're young, but this is unacceptable, even for Halloween. I understand you hold Keychi in high regard, but people do not blackface anymore. For shame. The Looney Turtle just so happens to be at it again. Here is Keychi Fim.
You know what, Anthony? I got this one. This is the Looney Turtle. Now, I don't know much about the Looney Turtle. I don't really have a lot of interactions with the guy. I haven't heard nice things, though. He was the mod in one of the old riffs. I don't remember which one. You can ask Anthony about that. The first time I really had any real interaction with him, speaking directly, is when he came to me and the other mods of the Secret Rift wanting to merge our rift and the old rift back into one to make one cohesive community. I told him that we wanted nothing to do with the old rift, that's why we separated in the first place, and we promptly kicked him out the door. That was a few months ago. We heard about this rift meet and greet for Nightmare Nights, a convention in Dallas. Now, back when we heard about this, I think we heard about it 1 or 2 months ago, I don't remember which. We saw that it was a Rift meet and greet and assumed that it was the old Rift wanting to do a thing. We shrugged our shoulders, didn't really care, and we went about our business. Fast forward to now, 1 week before Nightmare Nights, and we see the description of the Rift meet and greet. Let me read this to you right here. At a few different conventions, there have been Brony analysts and other members of the Rift Cafe and the Secret Rift Skype groups that have wanted to meet up for a picture and meet each other in person. This panel will introduce those members, take a group photo, and allow everyone to meet each other. Now that sounds really positive and sweet, doesn't it? There's only one problem. No one in either of these groups knew about this panel a week before it was supposed to happen. How is it that a panel at one of the major conventions was occurring and neither group was aware? After doing a lot of digging, asking literally everyone, including the mods of the Secret Rift and the old Rift Cafe, we found out that it was the Looney Turtle that planned this meetup. He didn't tell anyone. He submitted an application to Nightmare Nights and I guess forgot about it. It was approved and now there is a vacancy at Nightmare Nights for a panel that no one's hosting. None of the members of the old Rift are going to be at Nightmare Nights. The members of the Secret Rift, a few of them are going to be there, but who wants to take out their time to host a 1-hour panel? When one of Looney's mods in the old Rift went to him, this is Crimson Glow by the way, this is what he had to say. Where in any of the Rift rules does it state that you must get approval before setting up a meet? If it's in the Secret Rift rules, then I couldn't have known. My cafe YouTube page doesn't have any rules about it. The cafe wiki doesn't have any information. As far as I know, the cafe chat doesn't have any rules about it. I had the YouTube page owner's permission, but seeing how that's me, that didn't mean much to you. I didn't want to announce that a panel was happening before I got permission to do it, and to reiterate, I planned on running it so you guys wouldn't have to worry about it. Now, what do you want me to do aside from saying sorry? Yes, it's serious, but honestly, what do you expect me to do? Repeat the same thing over and over again? That won't change the fact that the panel is happening. That won't change my ability to be there. It won't change anything aside from how I sign up for panels in the future, so what do you honestly want from me? Now, there is a lot wrong with this statement. First of all, you don't sign up for a panel if you don't have permission of the people you're involving. That's common sense. You don't have to have a rule specifically for that. You have been made clearly aware that we have nothing to do with each other, and we want nothing to do with each other, Looney. I don't know what was going through your head. Did you think that you could just forcefully merge the groups together just because that's how you want it to be? That is not how the world works. I really hope that the mods of your room chuck you out for this, because it's crap and you know it. Own up to your mistakes, Looney. Don't be a pussy.
As a new generation has learned to hate Eric's guts. This is Sheldon in response to last week's video.
You realize that even if you get a blood infection, you'll be dragged to a hospital by force, or because you're incapacitated and won't be able to say no. It likely won't even kill you. Sepsis in young people has a relatively low mortality rate, being 15 to 30%. You'll be at a hospital before you develop serious sepsis, because I can guarantee you that you will not be able to handle the sheer pain and discomfort. I mean, if you're so set on dying, just kill yourself or something. At least you'll have a higher chance of actually dying. So much easier. Who wants to bet that Vita will eventually go to a hospital to get treated? I'll put down $100.
If the low mortality rate comes in all likelihood, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong about proper medical care. That one would argue that you could state comes from simple dental hygiene to prevent the need for medical surgery. Furthermore, serious sepsis, mind telling us, Mr. Pendahughes, what medical school did you go to explain what serious and not serious sepsis is? Was it Yale or Harvard? Did you spend a whole half hour reading Wikipedia's page or the back of a Cosmopolitan to find that out? You know, a while back, there was an animation/poem where one of the lines was about trolls passing out cigars at funerals, and many people don't find that sort of behavior believable.
You have coaxed the sober back into bars, handed out cigars at memorials, offered nooses, cliffs, and pills to those who unfortunately found you before they found help. You have praised suffering, waltzed in between tragedies, gracefully dipping misery as if we would somehow be impressed with the dexterity of your animosity.
We're here talking about someone mentally unstable, someone you're pretending to be friends with, and deciding to make jokes about them killing themselves. I'm not betting on Vita's life specifically with someone who welched giving Theory Brony and Jesse Wood $5,000 and asked off about it to Horse News. Dear Faith Moliminous, aka Sheldon's friend. Fancy that. While I completely agree it's a horrible, terrible thing for someone to lose their channel, it's sort of bullshit that you've done it to me and tried to backtrack with, "Oh, I was just threatening to make a video, guys!" Faith, instead of getting into a massive tiff with BronyCon staff, a fine event, and bitching about show staff and bitching about fans, and when you get caught acting like a massive cunt, you know the PFC and Limbo, the whole analysis committee, who knows you and knows who you to be, you could have just apologized. "Hey, I was being a dick. I was having a bad day. Won't happen again." And that's what the recent Moliminous drama really is. The inability of Faith Moliminous to find fault with oneself. It's been an ongoing Pony Fuckcast motto. Everyone's gay but me. Corporal Brony has never bullied anyone. Sheldon's thoughts are always absolutely right, and they go full-blown panic mode the moment this shit goes south publicly. Here's an idea. Don't fire up your computer. Slap up a lazy Leafy's Here style video where you're talking over gaming footage. Make a sincere apology to the people you pissed off. Faith Moliminous, you are not the center of the universe. You are not the center of the Brony universe. Maybe, just maybe, you would look more sympathetic if with every breath and every move you make, you didn't act like a giant, horrendous asshole. Just maybe. Everyone does fuck up. Lord knows I have. Jesus Christ, KP managed to go oops. You could have just as easily gone, "Oops, I'm sorry, mate. I got carried away." Studies, work, girlfriend, boyfriend, or a laundry list of possible excuses, likely that would have worked instead of doubling down. Now this one goes out to Rail Pony from Golden Fox's comment section. Now this is a bit more juicy than it seems at first. If you thought this was some random spurgy fan, you might be wrong. This gentleman here has 3,800 subscribers, running around acting like Mad Plushie or Patrick Roberry. I keep going back and forth in my head if I should be surprised or not. I mean, forgive me for getting sidetracked, but how does this get 3,800 subscribers? Like, 1 out of 3 of his videos have like 100 views. Excuse you indeed, sir. Jesus, Anime Wolf Gamers view-wise is a superstar next to you. Dear Lord, Keyblade Pony could look at you and scoff. Unironically. Jesus, Brick, than this guy? Boy, does Goldie know how to attract the winners. Back on topic, I think Bliss wrapped this up best. This is your problem. You're a guest on someone else's channel, and you're not exactly anyone influential. And you ran off final draft with your cringy ass right over here. And we're just getting started. Now why I and Elior aren't best friends, you're starting to get a collection of people, some polite and some more assertive, telling you to fuck off. If only Goldie's channel could get up and walk away like Final did. Now why are you screaming at a guy on his channel? Here's a better idea. At this point, you could have logged off, came back during a different video and been like, "Hey, last time, I was being a bit of a dumbass." Or as we like to call it, a Faith Moliminous and Brony. Can we start over? Now, instead of just going on and on, friend, go back to your 30 view average channel. Go now for the good of the land. And now in Tyandaga land, because reindeer lives matter. Dear Green Ninja, wherever the hell you say this retarded name. Oh look, another uppity 16-year-old edgelord. I bet you play video games too.
Lightning Bliss, you yelled at me for threatening you, but you threatening to shot somebody? Look, this is not about you. This is between me and Lightning Bliss, so please stay out of it. Hey, could you make yourself useful and go get Lightning Bliss, please?
Who the hell do you think you are, you entitled little piece of shit? You came to my channel, my comment section, getting huffed about a colleague and friend of mine, on an old video no less, saying that it's none of my business, then having the audacity to tell me to make myself useful and get her. Darling, it's my business now. With all due respect, go fuck yourself and get lost. The last thing I'm going to put up with is some prick harassing my guests on my channel.
Blame it on my autism, not me, okay? I didn't make myself this way. God did. You're the one who started all this cussing, so don't give me that shit. I was trying to be polite as possible.
Blame it on your autism. Anyone with some sense could have seen that you were being extremely disrespectful. I find it sad that you have to pull the disability card to help you win your arguments. That's pretty low. And to say that you were trying to be polite, even if you were to ignore the initial first comment consisting of nothing but capitalizing letters and shouting at my guest, you told me to, and I quote, make yourself useful and get Lightning Bliss. Please. This is immensely disrespectful. I'm not some child that you can boss around. You can boss around to your own ends. You didn't show me a sliver of respect for me, and I treated you the same.
Oh my God, you're right. I was really disrespectful. I was just trying to prove a point. I guess I got a little jealous. If Jesus saw me, what would he say? He died on the cross for me. A disrespectful faggot who only cares for himself. I'm sorry for coming to your comments and being disrespectful, but I really do have autism. I'm sorry. Hey, why don't I hop on the This Is What You Rightfully Deserve train with Autistic Pony and ride it to the fuckwords land as people call us?
I never said you were lying. What you had, nor do I not believe you. What I'm saying is that you're using your condition as an overlaying excuse for your behavior. It's just sad. It's not my fault if you're interpreting our words into something so much more twisted.
Oh, fuck me, another AJ the Autistic Pony who blames autism. Oh, this is rich. It's God's fault. It's your mom's fault for not swallowing. Hey, can you put on a blindfold and go play in traffic? It's times like these that I'm reminded that everything I've ever done to AJ was totally justified. Could you possibly just die and decrease the surplus population? It would be your crowning lifetime achievement. Perhaps I'm not being clear. You're an obnoxious, coked-up, backwater, ankle-hugging spaghetti nigger. Radio edit. I wish there were stronger words in the English language for you. If I'm driving along and you walked out in front of the car, I would speed up and then back up repeatedly. It's what Jesus would do. I have a dream that love and tolerance is painted over in the blood of cunts, like these having their balls nailed against the walls, hanging upside down. So it's that magical time, kids. We're touching upon Josh Scorcher and the Lily Peet drama in public. Lily Peet has a golden opportunity, if she really wanted to do damage to Josh by doing one simple thing: to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. The truth, my little ponies, is always the best troll to all but the nicest of people. I want to share something with you. This is Jim Cornette, and in the world of pro wrestling, his word and his work are viewed as profoundly influential. He carries the respect of many, not all of his peers.
And it is from someone named White Rabbit, who, coincidentally enough, much like Jefferson Airplane with their song White Rabbit, I think may have been on psychedelics when he wrote this email. Hi, Mr. Cornette. I grew up in San Francisco. There's the clue right there. One pill makes you larger, the other pill makes you small, but the ones that mother gives you won't do anything at all.
And has friends that do things that Josh Scorcher's friends and peers don't do. Disagree with him publicly. For all of Jim's virtues and faults, his friends and fans can smile and make the remark, this man's forgotten more about his craft than we'll ever know. Much like I would say about Moliminous, you should be super wary of anyone who honestly believes they're never wrong. Now, I've screwed up, and I'm gonna keep on screwing up. It's all part of the being human. So let's go through this bad boy.
Newbie Dash is an episode I've been trying to talk about in detail for a very long time, but it's an episode that is fundamentally difficult to discuss in a public venue. Because the Wonderbolts draw a lot of parallels to the military, a lot of military bronies hold the episode in high regard because of its supposed accuracy. The most vocal of these people being Joshua Burner, the founder of FOB Equestria and known for serving 5 years in the Marine Corps. So trying to criticize an episode so close to someone with military experience tends to appear as if it's being disrespectful to the military. Then I remembered something important. Mr. Burner wasn't actually in the military, he was in the Marine Corps' band, the ceremonial I'm helping of most military branches. And to presume some kind of genuine authority out of that is to claim that the children who participate in the Royal Canadian Sea Cadets have any kind of genuine military experience.
For all of you who had their fifis hurt that a big bad woman with independent thought made fun of your savior, I will reply as someone whose father served in the Vietnam War. Ahem, I can already hear those Cheeto-encrusted fingers in the comments typing feverishly away on how the National Guard could whip Canada's ass. Oh no sir, Corporal Brony armed with his AR-15 and 5 of his friends in a pickup truck and a half tank of gas and a 24 case of Coors Light could whip Canada's ass before supper. Now can I get a motherfucking hoorah? I love America, I love the US military, and I have bent over backwards from my personal experiences to not publish certain videos because Josh has asked me not to, whined at me about a week ago to remove a comment on Anthony C's channel after I finished a 12-hour shift at work. And with all due respect, as a man who received the kind of training that makes men out of boys, I sure haven't seen the fruits of that labor yet.
5 years to do what children do for free, and often do better, and is the personification of what my 3-time veteran grandfather dehumanizingly calls a bill brat.
I recall asserting Lily Peet was a pretentious cock girl once. Instead of you just calling Josh a bill brat, you hid behind shitting on your family and acting as if repeating it killed a small part of you. If you don't have the stomach for this sort of thing, fuck off.
So that having been said, Newbie Dash is garbage, and here's why. There's an easy way to tell if a story flat out doesn't work, if the entire premise can be completely unraveled by a single sentence. Newbie Dash is one such episode. While Rainbow spends an entire 22 minutes trying to get the rest of the Wonderbolts to stop calling her Rainbow Crash through a massive number of ridiculous stunts that would make an average episode of Seinfeld seem creative, at the end of the day, all she really had to do was respond to being called Rainbow Crash with "Stop doing that."
Gadzooks, Lily, really? You can tell dicks to stop being dicks and they'll listen? Heavens to Betsy, it never occurred to me. You know what? Let's turn the video off. It's 1:37, peace on earth and goodwill to men and women. My god, Lily.
Now, while in storytelling there's an unspoken rule that many practical and sensible solutions need to be written off in order for there to even be a story, there's a natural stopping point when the solution is this overwhelmingly simple. All Rainbow has to do is tell the Wonderbolts to stop calling her Rainbow Crash, a basic direct approach seen in Buckball season and the start of 28 Pranks Later. Done. One sentence and the entire plot falls apart. If Spitfire and the others object to that, they're instantly in the wrong.
Now, this is me derailing my own video, and had this been Rainbow and her friends, or even the folks in town, or any character who showed the least bit of civility or tact whatsoever, I'd be nodding my arms and going, well, duh. The Wonderbolts are dicks. What's more, one might argue the Wonderbolts are a privately run subsection of dicks. Rainbow doesn't have any leverage to make the Wonderbolts act better in this case, unlike in Wonderbolts Academy, where she had the moral high ground to tell Spitfire to shove it up her ass for endangering her friends' lives. All Rainbow has here is her fifis. Not just that, but Rainbow also has a massive fucking ego to overcome to admit that her most flawed heroes, this bugs me. This misconception, oddly enough, comes because Lily has a lack of empathy for someone else, in this case, in the inability to put herself in Rainbow's shoes.
Now the counter-argument to this is that someone like Rainbow Dash needs to be able to handle being called minor names when she's in a position like the military. Wait, sorry, not military, stunt flying. Or, to put it in the words of thousands of unironically ignorant internet postings,
if you can't handle being called a name in a group like this, which demands your full attention at all times, then, quite frankly, you should go back to your college safe space. They want their special snowflake back.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Wilsonator.
Radio edit.
No.
Now, I'm going to skip over the whole safe space discussion because when I attended Eastern University of Charleston, we had no safe spaces. I, unlike Lily, went to college. Don't believe me?
Are you still pursuing education, and if so, what's your focus?
No, I am not. I'm not pursuing education.
Oh, okay. I'll just drop it then.
So yeah, we don't have safe spaces. Just ask Donald Trump and why he doesn't debate in Illinois.
trademark symbol. Josh himself used to rant to my face about how college students need to have their opinions challenged. However, when his ignorant worldview was challenged, repeatedly, he decried it as emotional abuse. He once complained about the fact that I wouldn't let him compare Spike living with Twilight to self-hating black slaves in the South, despite the fact that this was literally my job that he was paying me to do. Now you might think that this is incredibly hypocritical, but this is pretty standard behavior. The vast majority of people who soapbox about how people need to have thicker skins and stop being so sensitive have always had particularly thin skins and fragile egos.
And I can back this up on Joshua Burner. It was around New Year's early this year when Josh Scorcher called me up and we had a discussion. I had some requests and Josh Scorcher had some requests. Josh went on about this persecuted sentiment, about this, that, and the other, disregarding anything I had to say, and had the sheer goal to ask me to ask Digi and Tommy he was sorry while comparing me to a wall he wanted to hit. This really happened. So yes, Josh Scorcher does not like having his worldview challenged. In the vain hope of making a show I know Josh wouldn't touch, I thought I'd reach out to both of them to make a podcast. Digi rolled his eyes, and the vibe I got was akin to he would rather literally talk to Vita. And Tommy Oliver, who was in financial straits, turned down the idea when I straight up blank checked the man. Put that into perspective. Tommy Oliver, in financial need, chose to starve, then talk to Josh Scorcher. If I had to guess, it's not enjoyable talking to a man incapable of accepting anyone else challenging his worldview. Josh has repeatedly unblocked me, asked me something, then fucked off, which is exactly what Cloud Cuckoo Country said he had to put up with I Love Kim Possible a lot. She would show up, ask for something, and then leave like a fart in the wind. Which is why there's no surprise he's gonna defend I Love Kim Possible a lot soon. Birds of a feather and all. Imagine that, a conservative defending someone who has the means to defend themselves. What a shocker. Now, I'm gonna skip over the whole bullying thing except for this.
And get bored when they fail to get a rise out of you. They just hit harder and harder and harder. Telling children to ignore it is to teach them to be complacent, not just of their own bullies, but of others. It tacitly gives bullies free rein to do whatever they please because they won't see any consequences because nobody gives a shit. And that attitude can fuck off and die in a ditch along with the malignant human cancer that defend it. If you're a child watching this right now and you're being bullied in school, here's what you do. You demand that your bully cease their behavior, and if they refuse, grab the heaviest object you can reliably swing and beat their fucking teeth in. Yeah, you'll get suspended.
Now, Josh, in his last discussion, told me he never believed in the ends justifying the means. I fucking do, kids. Probably too much. I feel its answers A, B, C, and D. And remember that part about me saying I'm wrong a lot? Yeah, keep that in mind. Now, I loved this advice about the hitting Lily, I do. I'm also a horrible source of advice. This is one massive broad brushstroke, otherwise known as a gamble. It's also putting such a blanket statement in the hands of people who might get carried away with it. There's a major difference between someone who needs their ass whipped and someone who you just damn near beat to death because you overreacted. In a world of bad ideas, namely some of those people being kids, are going to swing on might be a little bit more game for that behavior than them. There's the legality, the exclusion, the expulsion. If that was a joke, I don't think anyone but my sick ass was laughing. Lily, you backed the wrong horse. I'm sorry. I'm damn proud of all the people I went with for all their faults. How about you? Going some ways back, here is a healthy outburst before the Cartoons podcast from Y2K Toon Critic towards Map, or Map lovingly likes to call Toon Toonie Baby. So it turns out I lost the cartoons footage, but so you don't go away empty-handed, here is Faith's boy, Owen, telling you the truth about Moliminous. Enjoy! What are your thoughts on the vaunted Faith Moliminous?
Faith can be an absolute asshole because he'll do that thing where you're talking to him and like he's arguing with you and then he'll interrupt you like halfway through your point to try and guess what you're gonna say, and I'm like, Faith, what the fuck are you doing? Like, let me finish. Jesus fucking Christ. That's the only person I ever have that with, which is the dumbest shit in the world. Apart from that, like, when Faith is weird because when he's on a live stream with all of his like on his YouTube channel, he'll be absolutely fine. He won't shit talk you at all. But then when he's in public or when he's in private, he will just shit talk you all the time.